There is a phrase people use casually, almost as a joke. I hate people. Most of the time it is said with a sigh, not with rage, not with violence, just exhaustion. And yet, when someone admits this out loud, it makes others uncomfortable. We live in a world that celebrates connection, networking, and constant interaction. So when someone steps back and says they do not enjoy being around people, it is quickly misunderstood. But here is the truth most people miss. Not everyone who avoids others is angry. Not everyone who seeks distance is broken. And not everyone who prefers silence is cold. In fact, psychology suggests that many people who seem to hate people are actually responding to very human experiences like pain, overwhelm, and disappointment in the only way that feels safe to them. This is not about antisocial behavior. It is not about cruelty. And it is not about superiority. It is about protection. Let us take a closer look at what is really happening beneath the surface and why this mindset is far more common than most people realize. Some people did not start out disliking others. In many cases, they began life open, loyal, and emotionally available. They trusted deeply. They believed in bonds, promises, and mutual care. Then something happened. A betrayal that cut deeper than expected, a moment of abandonment when support was needed most, or a realization that someone they depended on could hurt them without hesitation. For these people, the pain did not simply pass, it settled. Psychologically, unresolved emotional injury does not fade, it reshapes perception. The mind learns patterns, and once trust is broken more than once, the brain starts drawing conclusions. People leave. People disappoint. People change when it is convenient. Over time, this stops being just a memory and becomes a belief system. So when others invite closeness, the body reacts before logic does. There's tension, guardedness, and a quiet resistance that says, "This has happened before." This is why many wounded individuals appear distant or detached. It is not that they don't want connection, it is that connection now feels dangerous. Animals often become a refuge for them, not because animals are better than people, but because they are predictable. A pet does not betray vulnerabilities. It does not use honesty against you. It does not abandon you when you are inconvenient. For them, solitude is not loneliness, it is relief. Others are misunderstood in a different way. They are not angry, they are not bitter, and they do not dislike people individually. What they dislike is noise. Not just sound, but emotional noise, social performance, unspoken expectations, small talk that demands energy without offering meaning. These individuals feel drained by constant interaction. Their nervous systems process more than they show. Crowds overwhelm them. Social obligations feel heavy. Even well-meaning conversations can leave them mentally exhausted. Yet society rarely sees this as a valid need. Instead, they are labeled distant, aloof, or hard to read. When they choose solitude, people assume rejection. When they decline invitations, they are questioned. When they pull back, they are criticized. This is where resentment quietly forms, not because they hate others, but because others refuse to respect their boundaries. Psychologically, when a person's natural rhythm is consistently invalidated, frustration builds. They begin associating people with pressure rather than comfort. They do not withdraw to punish anyone, they withdraw to preserve themselves. Over time, constant misunderstanding can harden into avoidance, and avoidance to outsiders looks like dislike. In reality, it is self-regulation. Then there are those who feel deeply disillusioned. They have spent years watching human behavior closely. They have seen selfishness rewarded, kindness exploited, and integrity ignored. Their disappointment is not with one person, but with patterns. Repeated experiences of injustice, humiliation, or failure can lead to what psychology calls cynical realism, the belief that human nature is fundamentally flawed and that most interactions are driven by self-interest. Unlike others, they do not simply want quiet, they feel morally exhausted. They notice hypocrisy where others overlook it. They struggle to ignore cruelty disguised as normal behavior. Because they do not easily look away, their frustration grows. To protect themselves, they disengage. They stop expecting decency. They stop investing emotionally. They stop forming bonds that feel pointless. From the outside, this looks like hatred. From the inside, it feels clarity, even if that clarity is heavy. The danger here is not solitude itself, but stagnation. When bitterness goes unexamined, it can become identity rather than defense. Despite their differences, all of these people share one core truth. They are not rejecting humanity, they are responding to it. Avoidance is rarely about superiority, distance is rarely about cruelty, and solitude is rarely about emptiness. Most people who say they hate people are really saying they are tired of being hurt, tired of being overwhelmed, and tired of pretending this doesn't affect them. Psychology does not ask us to judge these reactions, it asks us to understand them. Sometimes understanding begins with recognizing ourselves. Maybe you saw pieces of your own story in one of these experiences. Maybe you've moved between them at different stages of life. Or maybe your reasons are entirely different. Either way, the desire to step back from people does not automatically mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes it means you are listening to yourself. If this perspective resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, not just on why some people withdraw, but on how often we misinterpret quiet as hostility. If you want to explore deeper psychology behind human behavior, identity, and emotional survival, consider subscribing. We do not rush here, we do not shout, we think carefully. Because understanding the mind is not about fixing people, it's about finally seeing them.